There are at least 5 questions that my clients wish they would have asked their parents before they passed. Today I'm going to share them with you. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to preserve the stories that matter most. Hi, I'm Angie, and I help people to document their life stories through guided autobiography, life story interviews, and legacy projects. Over the years, with the many, many clients that I've dealt with, one of these regrets comes up more often than most, and that is that they wished they would have recorded a certain story or a certain memory or a certain discussion that they had with a loved one before they passed. The truth is, we always think we have more time than we actually do. But life stories, memories, and the wisdom of our loved ones, these things can disappear in just an instant. So today I'm going to share with you the 5 questions that could matter most. These questions are where you should start. Question number 1. What's your earliest memory? This might seem like a simple question, but childhood memories are often the first to fade, and they're incredibly precious. Your earliest memory says something about who you were becoming, even as a small child. When you ask this question, you're not just getting a story about the past, you're learning about how someone sees themselves. What stood out to them? What shaped their early understanding of the world? And here's what's beautiful. Childhood memories often unlock other memories. One early story leads to another, and suddenly you're hearing about their neighborhood, their siblings, their first day of school, the games they played. So start here. Ask about the earliest memory. And then, and this is important, ask follow-up questions after that. Where were you? Who else was there? How did you feel about that? What did you remember seeing, hearing, smelling? Details will bring the stories to life. Question number 2. What was the hardest decision you ever made? This question reveals character. It shows you what someone values, what they struggled with, what they sacrificed, and how they navigated difficult choices in their life. Maybe it was choosing between 2 job offers. Maybe it was deciding to move across the country. Maybe it was a relationship decision or a financial choice or something about how to raise their children. Whatever it was, asking about hard decisions gives you insight into the person behind that surface story. It shows their thought process, their fears, and their priorities. And often these stories can come with wisdom. When someone tells you about a difficult choice they made, especially decades later, they can reflect on whether it was the right choice or not, what they learned, and what they'd tell someone else facing a similar crossroad. These are stories that help future generations navigate their own hard decisions. Question number 3. What do you want us to remember about you? This is a direct legacy question, and it can feel kind of vulnerable to ask, but it's really so important. When you ask someone what they want to be remembered for, you're giving them the gift of shaping their own legacy. You're saying, your perspective matters, so tell me how you want to be known. And you might be surprised by the answer sometimes. People don't necessarily want to be remembered for the things that you think are most impressive. They might not care about their career achievements or their accomplishments. Instead, they might say, I want you to remember that I always showed up for you. Or something like, I want you to know I tried my best. Or I want you to remember how much I loved you. This question kind of cuts through everything else and gets to the heart of what somebody values most about their own life. And if you're documenting your own life story, this question helps you to clarify what really matters to you. What do you want your legacy to be? Question number 4. What family stories do you want passed down? Every family has stories that get told at holidays, reunions, in quiet moments between generations. But so many of those stories get lost because nobody writes them down or records them. This question invites someone to be the storyteller, to pass down the folklore of your family. Maybe it's the story of how great-grandparents immigrated. Maybe it's the legend of a rebellious ancestor. Maybe it's something funny that happened at a wedding or something profound that shaped the family values. These stories can create connection across generations. They help people understand where they came from. They become part of family identity. And when you ask this question, pay attention to the stories they choose. The ones they pick reveal what they think is important for you to know about your family. And last but not least, question number 5. What wisdom would you share with future generations? This is the forward-looking question. It invites someone to distill a lifetime of experience into guidance for people they may never meet. What did they learn the hard way? What do they wish they'd known at 20, at 30, at 50 even? What matters more than they ever realized? And what didn't matter at all? This question allows people to feel like their experiences weren't wasted, that the lessons they learned through trial and error, through joy and heartbreak, through decades of living, can actually help someone. And for you, whether you're hearing this from a parent or grandparent or even documenting it for yourself, this wisdom becomes a gift. It's life experience handed down, condensed into truth that can guide decisions, offer comfort, or even provide perspective when it's needed most. So, those are the 5 questions. What's your earliest memory? What was the hardest decision you ever made? What do you want us to remember about you? What family stories do you want passed down? And what wisdom would you share with future generations? These questions open doors. They start conversations. They preserve what matters. Now, here's my encouragement to you. Don't wait. Don't wait for the perfect moment, the perfect recording setup, the perfect lighting, the perfect circumstances. Just start with one question. Start this week. Record the answer on your phone. Write it down in a notebook or capture it on video. Just start because every story matters. Every moment is precious, and the best time to preserve them was yesterday. But the second best time is right now. If you're ready to go deeper than these 5 questions, I guide people through these conversations and dozen more in my guided autobiography workshops, where you'll learn how to document your own life stories or interview your loved ones with confidence and skill. You'll get structured prompts, professional guidance, and a supportive community, all doing the same work. Check the link below in the description to learn more about my next session. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe to my channel. I will share practical tips, inspiration, and guidance for preserving your family legacies. I'd love to have you join my community. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.